Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we are starting with Down syndrome. It's also known as trisomy 21, Mongolism, and congenital acromion syndrome. Now, why we say this, as we move forward, get to know why it is also called as Mongolism. Okay. So, primary manifestation of Down syndrome is mental retardation with extremely wide variety of anomalies. There is cranial, facial, and functional disorders. Okay, children have high incidence of acute leukemia. So, okay, the children suffering from Down syndrome have high incidence of acute leukemia. Plus, there are cranial facial disorders. Now, we are going to discuss all in detail. What is the etiology? So, it could be because of advanced maternal age. It could be because of uterus or placental abnormalities, and it could be also because of chromosomal aberration. Now there are cytogenic variation. You understood now everything. So advanced maternal age could be one factor. It could be either there is defect in the mother's uterus or placental aberration abnormalities which causes disturbance in the child growth causing Down syndrome, and last one is chromosomal aberration. Okay. Now the cytogenic variations. There are three cytogenic variation basically. One is trisomy 21. So Down syndrome can occur when there is trisomy 21. So usually we have 46 chromosome, but there is one extra chromosome which is 21 chromosome. You have an extra 21. You have two, but there is one extra which causes Down syndrome. This happens in 95% of the cases. Next is chromosomal translocation type. Here the chromosome is getting translocated to other position. So this kind of cytogenic variation happens in 3% of the time. Then you have chromosomal mosaicism. Mosaicism happens in 2% of the time, where cells of different genetic makeup they fuse and Down syndrome can occur. Okay, now we come to the clinical features, which are the main part. So 1 to 700 live births. In 1 to 700 live births. Mind you, this is the most common autosomal abnormality. So a question on this can be expected. There is no genetic predilection. Male is equal to female in cases. Then you have characteristic features. The characteristic features of this Down syndrome led to the term Mongolism. So they have a characteristic features like mongoloids. They have the apicanthal folds and all. So we are going to see what are the characteristic features. You see this person. You have eyes slant up with palpebral fissures. You can see almond-like eyes. Yes. There is apicanthal fold, skin fold of the upper covering of the inner corner of the eye. I have a better picture. Wait, I'll show you. So this is the apicanthal fold. Okay, this is a basic, very characteristic feature of the mongoloids. So the Down syndrome children also contain this characteristic. Okay. Then there are other enlarged tongue. So they have very macroglossia, and it sticks out of the tongue. Okay. There is mandibular protrusion also. Small stature. The skeletal, they are very small in height, and there is low muscle tone. There is gap between the first and the second toe of the foot, and in the palm of the hand there is creases are single. I'll show you. Delayed growth of the brain results in reduced mental capacity, and there is abnormal excessive facial fat distribution. There is low nasal bridge and dorsum, and there are low sets of ears. There is low nasal bridge and the dorsum. Okay. So if you see this, they can have cataracts. Cataracts is a thing which happens in elderly people, but they have upper palpebral fissures, and then they have hypotelorism. The distance between the two eyes is more. In the apicanthal fold, as I showed you, this is the eye, and there is this apicanthal fold. Suppose this is one eye, This is the epicanthal fold. It is present. Then there is protruding tongue. As I told you, there is macroglossia. There can be protrusion of tongue. They can also have drooping saliva. Then they have murmurs in the heart, so which can be due to defect in the heart. Then there is brachycephaly. I told you what is brachycephaly, right? Like this kind of head. The anterior posterior dimension is smaller than the mesodistal dimension. Then you have low set ears, small ears, abundant neck skin. I told you neck skin is abundant. Single palmar crease is there. Single palmar crease. And they can have clinodactyly. That is, the small finger is like this. Clinodactyly. Curved. Then these are the other effects, but we are going to learn about mostly about the oral manifestation. Okay, they fissured tongue, they can have small set ears. Okay, then these are the typical faces you see in a Down syndrome, and these are the types I told you. Now we come, I have all written down, so you all can even write it. Skull, brachiocephalic, I told you. Anterior fontanel is large and open suture. Okay, the face is flat. Nasal bridge is also flattened. Eyes have small slanting almond shape with the epicanthal fold. As I showed you in this picture, you have slow set folded ears, up slanting palpebral fissures, then you have short neck, epicanthal fold, brush filled spots could be present. These are small, typically white spot arranged in a ring. Brush filled pattern. Brush filled, it is known as brush filled spots. And you have flattened nasal bridge. So the nasal bridge is flattened. You cannot really make out there is this flattened nasal bridge. Okay, the ears are small plus misshapen. Then the mouth is open mouth and mandibular prognathism. Abdominal protuberance can also be seen. As I told you, they have short stature, broad and short extremities and digits. They have very broad and short extremities and digits. This short curved fifth finger, which is known as clinodactyly. Then there could be dysplasia of pelvis and the atlanto-occipital instability. So this is the atlanto-occipital joint. There could be atlanto-occipital instability. And then there is could be congenital defects of the heart, could be hypogenitalism, not properly matured genitalia. There could be delayed and incomplete puberty, and there could be Hirschsprung disease. Sorry if my pronunciation is wrong, but here it is. So what happens here is that intestinal aglanosis, congenital megacolon. So basically they have this disease, but we are interested in oral manifestation. So they could also have joints hypermobile. Let's come to the oral manifestation. Mouth is smaller than normal microstomia. The tongue is macroglossia with protrusion, pebbled or fissured, difficulty in eating or speaking. So they have the tongue which is pebbled or fissured. So the tongue can have fissures present on it, or it could be pebbled. The palate is high arched or cleft palate could also be seen. The uvula could be bifid. Now bifid uvula is the mildest cleft palate present, right? Then teeth could be microdontia, small teeth, hypodontia, less mineralized. Then you have enamel hypoplasia. Then also primary and secondary teeth can have delayed eruption, and there could be occlusal disharmony. So the teeth are not in good occlusion. And lips could have angular cheilitis. Here I have given what is angular cheilitis. The angle of the mouth will have angular cheilitis. Thinning of lips could be seen, and juvenile periodontitis. Juvenile periodontitis is something which happens in early life. where you have periodontitis. Okay, now what are the treatment and prognosis? No specific treatment you can give in this case. You will have 25 to 30% fail to survive beyond the first year of life. Those who survive will definitely have respiratory infection, congenital heart disease, and all of these you have to treat. Okay, so that is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching.